Good morning, Omar here from my point of view, and today I have a 2020 Mazda CX-5. Now, when I normally do these type of reviews, I will know what trim level, etc. But for Mazda, sadly, I don't know any trim levels for the Mazda, the brand. I got the Chevrolet with the LS, LT, and all that other stuff. Toyota with the LE. XLE, SE, and so on and so forth. Even Honda, even just a little bit of Kia as well. But for Mazda, I have absolutely no idea what trim level this is. So I have this Mazda for just one day. Today's Wednesday. Picked it up Tuesday. This thing only has 2,000 miles on it, and it came one way from a different location. So I gotta grab it just right now. This is the only time I can get it, so might as well. So this could be a learning experience for me and you. Well, actually just for me, because whoever's watched this probably knows more about the Mazda than I do. So I'm gonna try to go to a dealership today and we'll see if we can learn more about this CX-5 and the trim level. I just want to note that I did have a CX-5 once. I think it was 2018. It was high mileage. I didn't have a chance to actually review it, sadly. Let's just go ahead and get in real quick. So I have the key in my pocket. I'll actually go ahead and show you the key right now. It's actually a new key for 2020. It's actually different from the 2018 that I remember. So here's the key fob. It's actually really light, and the buttons are on the side. So you have the, let's see if it can focus in. You have the lock and unlock right here, and then you have the hold, which is just the panic button right there. So the buttons are on the side. I'm not sure if you get a remote start with Mazda, but we'll see. So the doors are currently locked. A little beep. So as you can see, a little button right here. Put my hand behind that door handle and then press the button. Well, you just, I don't just press the button to unlock it. And it's unlocked. Obviously the exterior is a white color. I'm not for sure what the name of the color of the interior is. I do have my seat cushion, get to that in a second. But let's just look at the interior real quick. Actually looks kind of similar to the 18 that I drove last year in the summer. Tuck that back into the floor mat. That noise in the background, someone is pumping up his tire with a little kit back there. Not sure the camera will pick it up. So it's a cold little Wednesday, so I'm actually going to do a little cold start for you guys. No temperature gauge, but you do have a little indication if the engine is cold, and I have yet to see it red, and I don't want to. So being 6'9", sitting in the CX-5, it's pretty much the same, just like any other compact SUV. I am kind of limited on the space, but these type of SUVs is just for ride height and kind of a little bit more storage as well. So I'm not expecting much in here. So while I'm up here, you do have electronic parking brake, and you have your little volume and your controls to control the menu on the display. Auto hold. I love the 6-speed automatic gearbox, which I get to more in a second. Get your sport mode down here. Climate control. Now I'm kind of glad it's actual physical buttons, not like a touch screen. A lot of automakers are doing that right now. Engine start button. Let's go in here real quick to the storage space. So you have your auxiliary cords. You have your outlet, 12 volts, I believe. Let me see. You have a 12 volt outlet, auxiliary cord, 2 USBs, and an SD slot. And then for those USBs, you have a little phone at the top right, I guess to indicate, you know, for if you want to plug up your phone up to the screen. The second one, I'm assuming, is just for pure charging purposes. You have another 12 volt out socket down here. There's no USBs up in the front, and I'm pretty sure this is where the wireless charging would be on a higher trim levels. The reason why I do have that seat cushion is because, I'm gonna get back out, You cannot raise up the thigh support right here. You can click it up, but it doesn't go up. So I believe this is just a normal 3-way, 4-way seat. It is comfortable. It's kind of firmish. We just squeeze it, but it is very comfortable. Not like I need the sit cushion for comfort. So you're to chime in the keys in my pockets, and I've exited the vehicle. So let's just go ahead and do a quick little review on how well I could fit in here. So I'm in the passenger seat. I got the seat all the way back, and I can't push it down. Actually, I can. Lower it to be. I am just pushing the seat all the way down to see if I can fit in here. As far down as it could go. And I do have room. My leg is such a spot right here, but it's not uncomfortable. I do have some wiggle room on my right leg. And yeah, this is something I can actually sit in for a long period of time. So that's the passenger side. Let's just go ahead and get into the back seat. With the seat up just a little bit past my driver position. Well, I do have headroom. As you can see, I do have plenty of headroom if I sit up straight. This can withdo. Comfort back here is surprisingly well. You do have rear vents back here and no outlets, no USB charger points. You do have a little storage behind the seat. Little storage on the door as well. Automatic windows going down. Let's see about up. And up as well. Got your little dome lights right here. Can put this little armrest down to expose 2 cup holders. And that's a little, ooh, there we go. Here goes your USB storage. Just learned something. You have 2 back here, along with cup holders. So this is equipped with USBs back here. I'm not for sure if I like the position back here, because you could probably fit 3 children back here, but the USB will be covered up. But nevertheless, I mean, it's back here. All right, so that's the second row. Let's go in the back real quick. The button is right here. Got your backup camera. Now storage space is, I would say, seem like about the same of any compact SUV. So I'm gonna pull this little lever right here. You have some type of small storage space right here. Let's plunk that back in here. Same on this side. And you do have a socket right here, a 12-volt socket. Now, this is something I found interesting last night. This right here is to pull this middle section down by itself. And this right here is to pull the big one down by itself. So I'm gonna pull this small one, and then the middle one will go straight down. So it's not like a 60-40 split. It's a 40-40-20 split. Which comes in handy, honestly. And you just pull this one down. Obviously, my seat is all the way back, so it will lay kind of flat. Then you just have one little lever right here to pull down the last seat. And as you can see, that goes all the way almost flat. Yeah, it goes almost flat. But obviously, you want to slide stuff in here. It seems like it's easy just to slide up in here. So you can't just pull a lever and it comes back out. You have to push them all up, which is pretty much the same for any vehicle. I'm pretty sure this higher trim level, this is where you press the button to let the tailgate down automatically. But it is a light tailgate. No sunroof option on this model. So let's go ahead and just go straight to the dealership. And I'll talk more about the engine, transmission, the powertrain. And I compare the interior of this trim level, wherever trim level this is, to the higher trim level. So fingers crossed that the Mazda dealership will let me do this. So I'm actually putting in my address. So you can just use this little scroll bar right here to select the letters. Kind of tedious. Yeah, very tedious. Is it even a touchscreen? It is not. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am here at the Mazda dealership. So I'm just hoping that they'll let me look at some other Mazdas in comparison. So let's give this a shot. Sadly, that didn't work out. A lot of people don't know who you are, and they have the right to refuse business with you. So on to the next one. You can't really complain, but keep on going. So as I am on my way to another dealership, this is the second to the last dealership. So I am cruising along on the highway. I have this truck in front of me, and as you see on this little screen right here, there's another little Mazda in front of the Mazda CX-5, and that's the car in front of me. The lines right now are highlighted, and I can turn off that system. That is the lane departure system down right over here. If I press that button, those lines go off. Now I'm gonna turn back on that system and show you guys how severely, it's not turning back on. There, now it's back on. And it's gonna take a second for it to read that I am between the lines. It's still wide open, and now it's solid again. So now, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to drift out of line real quick, and let's see how it fares. It does turn the steering wheel just a little bit as well. Also, while I'm cruising along on the highway, this is a 6-speed automatic gearbox. So I am driving at, try to push it to 80 real quick. And the engine is spinning at 2,500 RPM. Now, when I was in the Chevrolet Blazer with the 3.6 liter V6, the engine was spinning just around 2,000 RPM, and the Toyota Tacoma with a 3.5 liter V6, that small mid-sized pickup truck, that engine was only spinning at 2,000 RPMs, and this is a 6-speed. That Blazer was a 9-speed automatic gearbox, and I believe the Tacoma was a 6-speed as well. So it's kind of weird how this engine is still spinning so fast and high, but we'll see how that works in a second. But other than that, I mean, just cruising along, it's really quiet. It's a quiet cabin. I will get to more on the ride here in a second, but the cabin is nice and quiet. I do have good visibility, looking at the rear as well. Okay, take two. Back at another one. Do not give up. I already spoke to the manager, Mr. Joseph. I want to thank you so much of Nelson Mazda here in Murfreesboro. I want to thank you guys so much. So he agreed to let me just to look at the CX-5 in the showroom. It's the signature level. So, but without further ado, let's go ahead and look in the showroom real quick and look at the 2020 CX-5 signature. So this is it. That's the signature Mazda CX-5. I'm speaking low because they're assisting on the customers right now, out of respect as well. So let's take a quick look. So this is the all-wheel drive. It says 5G. I'm not for sure what that means. So Skyactiv technology. So I know the Skyactiv, that's the engine. I know that about Mazda. So let's just take a look on the exterior. You have bigger wheels. What size wheels are these? These are 19-inch wheels. These are P225 55R19 wheels. So 19-inch wheels in the rear. I'm pretty sure they're the same in the front as well. Let's just look at the sticker price real quick of the signature. It's kind of blocking the majority of the stuff. But actually, excuse me, this is 2019 CX-5 signature all-wheel drive. Mine's the 2020, but that's okay. This is at $37,000. It only has a sunroof. It does have a little rack at the top. But let's look inside. It's pretty much the same, honestly. You still got that push button. You still got that knob on the door handle. Trim levels look all the same. Instrument cluster is way different. It's like pulsing. Yeah, everything in here is the same. You have different floor mats right here, rubber floor mats. The steering wheel feels about the same as well. I have a view. I'm pretty sure it's a camera view. So the traction control button, lane departure, and the operate the trunk. I pressed it and it's not opening. So I'll go to that in a second. Heads-up display still looks about the same size. I'm pretty sure it's more wider. So my trim level, my Mazda over there, that's parked under the white one, has heated seats. This one has heated steering wheel. Not for sure what this would display. I'm pretty sure this this would display a message over here. But this has the heated seats. This is where the ventilated seats would be, air conditioning and stuff like that. Heated and ventilated seats for the passenger as well. Everything down here is the same gear lever, same switch controls down here for the menu and the volume knob, electronic parking brake. 2019, same for 2020. These leather seats are more comfortable, I could tell. Already, I didn't have any driven it yet. This has the Bose stereo system, two-tone leather, or two-tone interior. Rear's the same. So this is where I told you guys on the on my Mazda. This is where you press the button and it'll close the trunk. Just one little beep. Plus it's nice and start. Style's about the same as well. Beautiful interior. Now this one, the signature will have heated seats, so you do your heated seats back here. And still you got the USB storage. Cup holders, nice. And that's pretty much it. That's the interior. And the front of it looks about the same. So this is actually 2019 Mazda CX-5. I'm going to take what I could get. I don't want to overstay my welcome. And I want to thank Nelson Mazda of Murfreesboro for letting me just show you a comparison of higher trim level. Mazdas are so beautiful and elegant. It's like Mazdas are so underrated. Mazdas are so underrated, I would say. Once again, thank you and special shout out to Nelson Mazda of Murfreesboro. I really appreciate you guys for letting me see the 2019 CX-5. And I'm going to give you guys more of my point of view of the CX-5. So I just finished my shopping. Had to head to work real quick. But there is something I noticed when I'm going over these speed bumps in this Mazda CX-5. So let me try my best to explain this. Like the wheels are kind of way in the back of the car. And there's not much car left behind the rear wheels. So what I'm trying to say is when you go over like a speed bump, the rear just bounces up, which kind of gives like a firm ride if you're going over speed bumps. It is comfortable ride, but when you go over speed bumps, the back end just hops up. And that's kind of a little unattractive to me. All right, so it's time to do my quick late night review. Nighttime. All right, so let's go ahead and pop that hood. This hood is heavy. Almost the same as that Toyota Tacoma. Wish you guys could see it. This is a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder paired to a 6-speed automatic gearbox. You have 187 horsepower and 186 foot-pounds of torque. You're able to get 25 miles per gallon on the highway and 31 on the city, which is actually very impressive for a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder that's paired up to a 6-speed automatic gearbox. Now usually I kind of rip on some cars like, well, it needs a CVT, well, it needs an 8-speed or 9-speed automatic gearbox, but this 6-speed is phenomenal. It's not once where there was a huge delay. When I put my foot down, nothing. It's very responsive, very responsive. So Mazda did an excellent job with the horsepower and torque figures with this car. You don't need 200 brake horsepower in a 9-speed, 8-speed automatic gearbox. Mazda got it done just right. Boy, this hood's heavy though. So just like at the styling at nighttime, I'm still not for sure which trim level this is. I will go ahead and say this is probably like a touring or a sport model. I did look up the models on my phone, but it kind of varies. So I didn't really have much chance to really look at all the models at the dealership. Could have, would have, should have, but I didn't want to overstay my welcome once again. The Skyactiv G, I believe that's just the engine technology that you have for this vehicle. You have a very nice dual exhaust down here at the bottom as well. There's not much to Clayton on the body style. Everything in here is pretty nice and solid. Even selecting gears is very nice and smooth. Some feedback too, but still. Thing I noticed, the accessories are on. The ignition's on the run position. If I put my foot on the brake, it changed to green. Take it off. It's not ready, so I press it again. But obviously everything turns off. It roars back to life. So let's get to the driver dynamics real quick. Okay, driving the Mazda CX-5. The engine has has a very nice growl to it. It just makes you want to put your foot down just a little bit longer just to hear that 4-cylinder growl. The engine is very smooth. The transmission shifts are very seamless. It's just overall just a very nice combination. You may have a good engine, bad transmission, You may have a good transmission, but the engine may not have enough torque or horsepower to back it up. I'm very impressed. You don't need 200 horsepower. You don't need 9-speed automatic gearbox. If the 6-speed works, it works. But some just can't pull it off as Mazda pulls it off. The turning radius is phenomenal. I mean, really, it's one of the best, and this is a compact SUV. I just showed you guys in the Jeep Cherokee review how kind of horrible the turning radius is. And I'm not for sure when exactly I'll be able to review the Chevrolet Equinox and the Ford Escape, but especially for the Equinox and along with the Equinox, the Terrain, which is pretty much the same SUV, those who have kind of a horrible turning radius for such a small SUV. But this Mazda CX-5 in the same class, compact SUV, this is brilliant. I'm really surprised about the 31 miles per gallon on the highway, honestly. I showed you guys doing 80 in the on the freeway, and the engine was spinning around 2,500 RPMs. Usually some cars will rest around 2,000 RPMs, and 2,000, 2,500 may seem like a lot, but kind of want to go long distance without, you know, overworking the engine. This is naturally aspirated, so it doesn't really need to, it doesn't have that like instant torque, but it does make up for it surprisingly well. That was not full throttle. It was just a nice little acceleration. Nice. I really respect this car. I really, this is a very nice compact SUV. Very nice. I feel that zoom. Another thing I just noticed is when I come to a halt, something doesn't happen like it does in normal cars. You ready? No engine stop. No auto stop. Another thing I don't like, sadly, about the Mazda CX-5, which is not as bad as the whenever you run over a speed bump, but if you're accelerating from a dig, trying to dig yourself out of the hole, the traction control is on and you floor it a little bit, and when the wheels spin and traction control tries to eliminate the wheel spin, the car kind of hops a little bit in the front too. I'm not for sure what's wrong with this, the Mazda CX-5, and it's hopping, you know, so I'm not sure if it's trying to be a frog, whatever, but it kind of bounces up and down just a tad bit. Obviously you can eliminate that by turning off the traction control, but then you wear out your tires. So that's something that I've noticed driving this vehicle. As I'm getting ready to fill up, I just noticed that obviously this is where you put the gas in, and I'm assuming this is where, if this CX-5 was a diesel, you put that cleaning diesel stuff in here. I'm not for sure. Clean the exhaust, but that's what I'm assuming this is for. So that concludes my short one-day rental with this Mazda CX-5. I really did enjoy it. I'm really impressed by its powertrain, especially that 6-speed automatic gearbox. There are a lot of vehicles nowadays switching to CVTs or even 8 or 9-speed transmissions, possibly even 10. But Mazda is still doing this thing with the 6-speed, and it did it so well that I really recommend at least giving at least a test drive if you're in the market, which a lot of people are, for a SUV. This is a compact SUV. I drove the Jeep Cherokee and the Chevrolet Equinox Premier, and I do not have a video of the Premier. But from my point of view at this Mazda, I love the way it handles. I love the powertrain, like I already said. Some things I do not like is the infotainment center. It's a nice layout and it works well. Change the volume, stuff like that, so you keep your hands, you don't have to worry about, you know, moving, touching the screen, stuff like that. It is still touchscreen, which I just learned as well. Only thing I dislike about this car, I would have to say, is the ride. It's not uncomfortable if you're just going over railroad tracks, but if you go over a speed bump, like I stated earlier, then the back end would just hop around a lot, and that's very unattractive to me. But take it for a test drive and see how you feel about it. That's just my point of view of the Mazda CX-5. This is a prime candidate to have a manual transmission. I know everyone wants a manual GT500 and other sports cars and manual Ferraris, but SUVs like this, that's where the manual transmissions need to survive. Thank you so much for watching my video, and see you next time.